que sean testigos cuando se produce una llamada a toda.
In their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, and then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super. Thank you. And I yield back.
Yeah, so this is crazy.
Very crazy.
This is crazy.
Very bizarre.
Very bizarre is the word. Very, very, very bizarre. People think that when these things happen, it's something new. Like, no, there's nothing new under the sun. These things have been happening for a long time. And people also need to pay attention, because when you see these stories come out, like, it's like multiple illusions, because they'll have a false story come out and it'll be something where they just made it up or whatever just to cause distraction. And then they'll put a real story out where it was something actually really serious, you know, a real demonic activity. That I'll say that, because when you say alien, people have been brainwashed for so long that they only think about, you know, ET and the Predator and all this. They've been doing this to people to brainwash you, so that way when the real thing shows up, you're not even gonna know what it is. You see, because even in the Bible, it talks about how angels came to Lot and they ate food. You see, so they needed a body, and Lot thought they were men, you know. So, but they were really angels. Even in the Bible talks about how we entertain angels unaware. You can also be in the vicinity of demons that are operating through people. You see what I'm saying? It's the same principle.
I was reading the article, and it says 10-foot aliens / creatures caught on camera, fired at inside and outside Miami Mall. Media silent, cops are covering it up, saying kids were fighting with fireworks. All these cop cars and air traffic stopped that night except for black military choppers and no media coverage. So you have all of these media outlets posting the same headlines saying that these were aliens, 10-foot creatures, 10-foot tall alien type creatures floating above Miami cops as they responded to the New Year's Eve or New Year's Day shooting. They're saying that there were about 50 teenagers or what have you, and a riot started from that because they were fighting, and then they let off fireworks, which caused a panic, and everyone just started running around.
And we know that this would not cause the whole squadron of Miami to show up at a mall. They're not going to do that, like unless it's like 9/11 or something.
We don't really see that much coverage or footage from any of the individuals that were there. There's one video where this guy is speaking out saying that he was there.
No cap, I look back, it looked like a big shadow, but it was solid at the same time, like a few shadows, but they were solid at the same time. And it almost looked like they was coming our direction, like they was chasing us, but they was disappearing and reappearing closer. So I'm like, yo, what?
And I think there's another video on TikTok that's circulating around. It's a female, but it's not something that's like widespread where everyone is talking about what they saw.
Yeah.
And it just leaves a lot of questions, like what is going on? Yeah. So we see this figure, shadowy figure, walking in front of the police cars, and there's all of the like tons and tons of police out there. That is not for a situation involving some teenagers. You know, like, come on. You know, the government, that there's something going on, but you're trying to build up this whole situation for this alien invasion, preparing the minds of the people for what you're trying to bring in, because it's always the problem, the reaction, and then the solution. You create the problem, we react, and then you come with this already prepared solution that's not really a solution, but that's the only way that you can get people to acquiesce to what you're trying to do.
Exactly. Problem, reaction, solution. That's a fact. And they are studying us, how we react to these situations. I feel like they're preparing us and setting the stage for a stage alien invasion. That's what I feel like. Bill Cooper talked about it. Even Ronald Reagan said, in order to bring the world together, maybe we need an alien invasion.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Alien threat from outside this world.
And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Than war and the threat of war.
All of these things is about a new world order. So this is definitely an agenda.
The Holy Spirit is going to tell you what's going on. God already spoke to us and gave us dreams and visions about
giants
and war, like way before 2020. The only thing that we know to do is to just stay vigilant and pray and know that when you're in God's presence, He's going to show you things that when you see or you hear stuff like this, it doesn't faze us. It doesn't make me scared. It doesn't make me feel like, I'm just lost and I don't know what to expect. Like God said, He doesn't want our hearts to fail us. And that's why He told us in Matthew 24, look to see what's going to happen in the end times. So we don't know when Jesus is coming back. No one knows, but we can follow the signs and know, okay, things are ramping up.
Exactly. But we have to talk about these things. We have to talk about them in a more spiritual way, because these are demons, y'all. These are demons. In order for a spirit to operate in the earth, it needs a body. It has been talked about in the Bible, and these are ancient things. America and just the world in general and the elite, they're trying to paint this like a movie, like get people prepared. That's why every single time that you see these videos, it's always something blurry. It's never anything like super clear. That way you can have a full understanding of what you're looking at. The word alien just means foreigner to a land or a country, but nobody ever thought that it could be a foreigner to a different realm. You see what I'm saying? If they admit that these things are demons, they're gonna have to admit that there is a God, first of all, and they don't want to admit that. You have to come to that conclusion. And the Bible talks about it in Genesis 6, but Jesus said that the last days will be like the days of Noah. You have to research what was going on during the days of Noah. They were manipulating DNA. They were having sex with animals, creating new hybrid beings and all type of stuff, like, you know, half man, half horse. All that. If you watch the Chronicles of Narnia, all those things that they showed you in that movie, a lot of them are not myths. You know, a lot of these things that we call myths actually existed on the earth, and that was the reason why God destroyed the world during that time. That's why it's time now to get right with God and really start praying, because this year we're gonna be seeing some stuff, y'all. Pay attention to the details, okay? Because they're always gonna try to write things off and say, no, they do the MIB thing. You didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? You saw a fight and da 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 da, when somebody clearly saw something strange, and they're trying to retract their statements and keep them quiet, and they come back like some MK Ultra thing, and they don't even remember what happened. But I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Real Talk Room, and make sure you share this video. And we appreciate y'all, and see you in the next video. Peace.